What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's a new year, new podcast. Let me bring out my guest for you. You got the one and only Carr.
What's up,
man? How are you?
Living the dream.
The one and only Paul. You know, I like to mess with Paul a lot. Me and Paul like to mess around in the live chat. Hi, Paul.
Hi.
All right, Paul, that's your stream.
Hey.
Your stream time. We're done. That's Paul, everybody. And we got freaking Michael. What's up, Mike? How are you?
What's going on, fellas?
I'm just messing with Paul.
What's up, Mike?
I'm just messing with you, Paul.
Unbelievable.
How you guys doing, man? That's funny. So, Mike, so how did you start in the ball python industry, man? I know you're from Canada and stuff.
So I've been into reptiles for my whole life since the early 90s. I had ball pythons and Burmese pythons, and I got out of it and worked for years. And maybe 2011, I got my son a ball python, and just got hooked like almost immediately, man. Once we started doing research online and finding all the YouTube channels and stuff, and I gravitated towards Mark Mandic, Ralph Davis, Kevin McCurley, Nerd. Those are like my gurus, Ben Rennick. And I just spent the past 10 years having fun with it.
Hell yeah. What's your collection up to right now?
Maybe 120 females and then 30, 40 males or something like that.
Hell yeah. Freaking goals.
Keep it at that size on purpose. I've been at this size for a couple of years now, and I'm trying not to expand. I am going to put a couple more racks in, but I'm trying to do it as slow as possible.
Okay, gotcha. What kind of genes do you like to work with right now?
Shit, all over the place, man. I know a lot of people like to pick something and roll with it, like the clown breeders, the ultra male breeders, or whatever. I can't do that, man. I got to go everywhere, and every time I see something I like. So I like Jag, I like Redhead, I like the clown stuff. I like making shit that hasn't been made, just the weirdness of it, thinking of what it's going to look like in your head. And I got so many combos in my head that I want to make that have never been made, and it's exciting as hell. So.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. Paul, what's your backstory?
It's the same. It's the same as I think everybody.
Right.
It's I grew up with reptiles all over the place. Any animal actually, and the problem was if I was going to a pet store, my father, I was coming back home with something. You went down, you used to travel down to Florida. There's these backwater what are they like flea markets and stuff, and they always had like little alligators and all this stuff, and bought all that shit when I was younger, and grew up, and snakes had a albino Burmese with one eye. I think I bought that at like my first reptile show. And I think I don't know what the fuck I called. I forgot his name, but got too big for me when I was younger. So we ended up giving to my brother's friend, and just moved on from there like that. And then ended up getting a ball python for my daughter, and ever since, I'm like, And then next thing you know, it was this. I didn't know at the time though, when I got the ball python, about caramel and all that stuff. We ended up getting a caramel, and so that's her like her ball python. But now we just got all the, whatever. And I just keep buying.
Right. But how many snakes do you have right now?
So I have 40, about 40.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but. That's the start of the beginning of the summer. Like, right. I didn't have anything. I had a tank, and then
that's how I started off
buying the Freedom Breeder, which is behind me, right?
Right.
The rack first, and then the 1065, and the Freedom Breeder took months to come in.
Yeah.
And then the ARS came in, and I'm like, huh. Got 3 snakes. Next thing you know, it's just snake. So, and I don't know where I'm going. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't. I like everything.
Right. You're like a lot like Michael and stuff, and me. I think we all kind of have just a little bit of everything, honestly. I mean, I know Carr has a little bit of everything. Michael says he has a little bit of everything. So, I got a question here from Balls. I asked both of you actually. What are your top 3 incomplete and top 3 recessives you got, Michael?
Top three incomplete. Shout out to Eric Walsh from Monster Morphs, man. He turned me on to Redhead a couple years ago.
I do
was
like
still
it.
It was still pretty quiet. Nobody was really talking about it, and he had an inside scoop that Justin was about to release some shit. So, so he wanted a Jag, so we ended up doing a swap type thing with Jag for Redhead.
Oh,
And
okay.
he got one of the very first Jags down in the U.S., Justin Kobilka, and then I think he was literally the second.
Dang,
And then I
didn't
got
know
one of the
that.
first Redheads up here, so it was advantageous to both of us. So I'm throwing Redhead into everything right now. Redhead, Jag, obviously Jag's the shit. I like Jag's like my main thing. Kodam wise, shit, I got like 8 or 9 Dinker projects. There's probably a couple of those that I would say would be my number 3. And as for recessives, Clown Pied is kind of where I'm heading right now. A lot of Clown Pied stuff. DG. I like the Zebra, but the Zebra has a resemblance to the Jag, and I'm trying to
I said that too.
spearhead that Jag right now, man. So if anybody even mentions Zebra normally, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Zebra? And I just steer away from it. But I do like the Zebra. I see it. It's pretty cool shit. But I mean, I'm in that Jag lane right now. So yeah, that's about it, man. I like those 3 recessives, and those 3 Kodams are pretty cool. I got lots of Kodams, but those are the ones I'm excited about right now.
That's awesome. I didn't know that you traded Redhead for Jag with Justin. That's pretty awesome, man.
No, with Eric Walsh.
Oh, it's Eric
So-
Walsh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's
Mark
nice.
Mandick bought the collection, the Jag collection, and then Phil Robinson from Robinson Royals bought in, and then I bought in, and then Justin bought in. So we were the first 4 to buy in, and then
Okay.
Eric was the first one after that. So he was like the first guy on the outside that was able to scoop one up. And then I started sending them over to Europe. Marco Morphy bought one off me, and
That's awesome.
Hmm.
What about you, Paul? Your top 3 recessive incomplete.
I think as what I got. I mean, I got the DG. I got Clown, Pieds. It's pretty much what I'm going for. I like Cypress. And that's another after what I'm going for. I love Cypress a lot. So I've been. But I don't have that's the thing. When I first started, everyone's like buy females, buy. So I've been buying babies and juveniles. So
Yeah.
And now everyone's talking about this whole recession and everything like that. So I kind of got in at a good time because I don't have much breeder ready or anything. So I've been talking a lot with this with Ray from Euphoric Reptiles, and I bought a bunch of stuff from him, and I got the Cypress Pied, the black pastel Cypress Pied, and a leopard. Cypress leopard pied, and then I got a couple of Cypress pieds from him, and couple of ready breed. I actually just got a lock the other night with the black pastel Cypress pied.
Nice.
So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's me. That's it. One. I'm like, yes, one. But that's a start. I mean,
Start. You gotta start somewhere.
exactly. So I'm just here, going to be growing them up, and that's what that's where it's at. So as everybody's up for the making the double and triple recessive triple, I'm gonna end up buying some. I'll buy them.
Are you
I work my ass off. I'm
Are
gonna
you
buy
shooting
them.
that, Mike? Are you doing those triples and quads and stuff too?
what's that? Sorry, is that for me?
Yeah. Are you doing those? Are you doing your doubles and triple recessives
Triples and
as
quads?
well?
I'm not in a huge hurry, so I'm making doubles right now. I'm making all
Are
types
you?
of doubles, and Redhead Pied Clowns and DG Pieds, and just all types of doubles. And down the road, I'll worry about putting them together for quads and stuff like that. Those
Pretty cool.
triples, man, they take a lot of animals you got to hold back. So
They do.
every side
True.
project I have has 20 animals involved, and if it doesn't prove, then they can go and I can bring more in. But for every recessive triple you make, you got to make like 10 animals and hold them back, and that takes up room. So the doubles for me, they still sell. They look freaking awesome. And down the road, I'll work into the quads and stuff. I'm in
Okay.
no hurry right now.
I did. I don't know if you guys saw that. I did see somewhere on a post. Someone made quad heads. Okay, it was like a G stripe hypo. I don't know, it was something crazy like quad, like sunset. I don't remember exactly what quads it was. Hit all males.
Oh shit!
Oh.
All 6 hits, 6 males. I'm like, that's
Nice.
like, ouch. Like something about getting killed by the odd gods.
Yeah, that's a kick to
That's another
the
thing.
nuts.
You can waste clutches just trying to make your hets. I mean, Chris Towers put a pair together, and he got triple het hypo Monarch Pides 1.4. Now that's your dream, 1.4.
Right, for sure.
But when you end up with 3.2 or something like that, you got two that you can't sell. You got 1.2 you can sell. It's kind of
Yeah, it's kind of
so you end up with a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
But
that
in
you have
that,
a hard
but in
time.
that case, but in that case too, it's kind of like nice to have a backup male just in case that one male for those 4 females doesn't want to like lock up or
That's
whatever.
100% true.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind having freaking 2 males in that situation.
That's something I
Hmm.
learned a couple of years ago, man. I got double of almost everything in this room, literally. But when it comes to the males, because I've had males not go,
Yeah.
and that just ruins your season. So
That's nice.
I got
Yeah.
That's what I'm going through right now.
That's nice.
Yeah, Carr's going through that right now with what your chocolate Wookie boy, your head boy.
Yeah, he won't breed. And then I was trying to go for some pavement clowns. And my one male I have to go to my highway het clown is just not wanting to do nothing. So it's like,
Well, I got my red
lost cause.
lock, so
Well, good
one
for
tip,
you.
One tip I can give you for a male, it's worked a couple times for me over the years, is put your female in with your male, not your male in with your female.
Oh, really?
That sometimes helped. My first Jag beat the shit out of every girl I put it in with. He's breaking tubs. He was just like a pit bull, and he wouldn't breed anything. He would just beat them up and make my girls all scared. And it took me a few months before I tried that, and man, it worked like that. I put the females in with him. He lets them in, locks them right away. It was just a completely different scenario. So
Huh.
Okay.
never know.
hey,
I'll give it a go.
I'm gonna put the spotlight here on Michael for a second. I want to talk about this Jaguar gene. So you want to talk about this Jaguar gene for people that don't know about it? We've been talking a lot about it here for a second. So you want to maybe show some of it off while we talk about it, or
Sure, man. I'll tell you about it first. I guess the original snake came out of Nerd years ago, and a guy named Ray Lee bought it, and he fucked around with it for a few years, made a few things. But when it came out back then, the cool things out were Spider and Lesser and Pastel and stuff like that. So the first few combos were lackluster combos like that, and you couldn't really see the potential in it. So he sold the whole project to Mark Mandic. I was up at Mark's with a friend picking up a DG something or other for a buddy of mine. And Mark says, "I got an opportunity for you," and he shows me this snake, and it's like Odium on steroids, lime green, glowing in my face. I'm like, "What the fuck? You don't see green snakes like that. What is that?"
right?
He tells me the story, and he shows me a few snakes that are related to the project. And he says, "I got this one for sale. It's the only Jag for sale." So I messaged back a couple days later, threw a deposit down on it. See if I can grab a single gene here. And so in the meantime, right after I put the deposit down, he went away to Mexico with a whole bunch of breeders on some breeder Mexico trip. Justin Kopelka and a bunch of friends of mine. And while he's away on this trip, a couple people started making offers on my Jag. Props to Mark for being a man. Mark said he already put a deposit on it. I can't sell it. So people are trying to double the money. Oh, I'll give you double, and he still wouldn't sell it.
That's awesome.
There's you can see see if I can get the right angle on it. You can see the resemblance with the zebra stuff.
Oh yeah,
No, yeah.
that's nice. I'm sure it doesn't do
But
it
the thing-
justice in person.
The single girl, right? I don't really have a hard on for the single gene itself. It's when I saw it with butter. I'll see if this thing's a shit or not.
I did see that. Didn't you have like an OD butter jag or something like that?
I got OD butter jags and butter jags. I don't know if the green's coming in on that or not, but
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
yeah, it's hard to see unless you see it on purpose. It's like lime green. It's like there's a light bulb on the side of it. And this is just a butter, we're talking butter jag het clown. And the one I bought was a butter pin jag het clown, and it was super lime green as well. And Marco's got that now over in Europe. But just that color is what attracted me to it. And then I started putting it to things, and I started liking what it does with the pattern as well. But I'm still a junkie for the color.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a pastel leopard jag het clown. Just they don't dirty out whatsoever. They just get cleaner and nicer as they age. I'm not good at this holding snakes in front of camera shit. See if I find a smaller one easier to see. So
Oh,
that is
Wow.
that one's a
there we go.
pastel OD butter jag.
That's nice.
Really cool blushing in them. But this thing, I can't tell you what this is gonna look like when it's older because nobody's made one of these ones yet. But they change color and they look nothing like they do as babies once they age. They start to, like that green one was brown when it was born. There's a OD butter jag, and this thing will be a lime green when it gets older too. That's how you know you've got one for sure. If it's a low expression, then you grow it up for 5-6 months and it'll change into a color you've never seen before.
Oh, really? That's the low expression of them. Then.
Yeah. Here's another same snake. What I'd say is a higher expression. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
OD butter jag, and that one again will turn lime green when it gets older. I just sold one of these to American Made Exotics a few months back.
That's nice, man.
Kind of hard to see him on camera. You got to
It
see him
is.
in person, but
But you also have Instagram and stuff too. Yeah, you have Instagram, duh.
yeah,
Like,
my pictures on Instagram I'm proud of. There, check on there anytime you want to check out.
You
Yeah,
want to see some actual good pictures of him and stuff. Actually, want to check him out on his Instagram. Check out his Instagram for sure.
thanks. Man. Yeah, when I got into it, when I mentioned Jag, absolutely nobody knew who it was. Maybe a couple of the guys who knew the original guy that bought it out of Nerd. They're like, oh shit, dude, I know the guy who bought that from Nerd years ago. Anybody else, they were just like, it's not Jag, and they're sending me pictures of Google Jag images or whatever, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So I had to pretty much educate everybody over the whole COVID what Jag was, get it into a few bigger people's hands. Now they're spreading the word throughout the States, and it's becoming
Right.
more and more popular. And now people are starting to know what Jag is. So
Did
fun ride.
do you have any Do you have any like any clown or anything?
I got a Jag clown, OD Jag clown, and I'm getting it into recessives. But the first year, what I wanted to do was make a single. I didn't have a single, and anybody I wanted to buy in, I wanted them to be able to see a single. And so I started making singles, and I sold out the first year, $5,000 a piece. And when I bought the snake, it was $2,800. But when Mark went on this trip to Mexico, people were offering him $5,000. So we jumped the price right up to $5,000 immediately, and then $6,000, eventually $7,000 for a single gene jag. And so to me, it was more advantageous just to make single gene jags for now, save all the cool shit for myself and sell that. And
Right.
and then when I did, maybe 2-3 years in, I started making jag het clowns, and they were selling for $9,000 or $10,000 a piece. And then next year, hopefully, we'll be selling jag clowns and stuff like that.
Hell yeah! I like to see like to see how similar a jag is with a zebra. I mean, I do see his resemblance and stuff like that. I like to see what a jaguar or zebra would look like if they're if they're
Would they cancel each other out or do
yeah,
something
we'll see what
cool?
would happen with it or whatever. To,
There's
just to work
similarities. Once you study the hell out of it, like it's like Cryptic. When Cryptic came out, I'm like, that's just a puzzle. It's a puzzle, dude. It's a puzzle. And it took me a little bit to get past it to where now when I'm scrolling at 100 miles an hour, oh, that was a Cryptic. And I can go back and I know the difference between a Cryptic and a puzzle. The similarities are there to where at first it has that feel. And it's the same thing with the jag and the zebra. For a little bit, it's like, oh, no, that was a zebra. But
Right.
you do pretty quickly get over that, and you can start. The jags have an eye thing, they got a tail thing, they have a blushing thing, there's all types of things you start to spot, and when you see them all in one, it makes it easier. But
right. Yeah, we'll see what happens when I start breeding my zebra and stuff like that, and when I start getting some
Definitely.
bills and stuff. So that'll be
Just
interesting.
can't wait, can you? Kids can't wait.
Can't wait. Hopefully this fall.
Brendan Selway was trying to trade me zebra for jag, but I just wasn't ready yet.
Right. Each in its own.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of breedings you got going on this year, man?
It's a slow start, man. The redhead stuff. So I made redhead head ultramel, posset clown,
Ooh,
redhead
I like to see that.
posset.
Redhead ultra.
What's that?
That's nice.
The
Yeah,
redhead-
they're lost
redhead.
right now, actually. So I made the redhead head ultramel. He's maybe 9 months old. He's lost to the female now, so fingers crossed.
We got
Redhead het hypo, redhead het pied, redhead het DG.
the red freeze.
Yeah. I got this thing where I think redhead, blackhead, vanilla, they're all head patterns, not so much body patterns. And I think when you start layering them on top of each other, there's gonna be some crazy shit. So I'm trying to put like vanilla pied, redhead pied, and blackhead pied, combine all that kind of shit and see what happens. Again, stuff that nobody's thinking of doing. That the outcome's just going to be like either awesome or crap. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you're only gonna know if you make it.
Yeah,
So,
that's how you find out.
that's how you find out.
That's good.
Yeah,
Either you're going to be excited or you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna like it or you're not. You're gonna unload it if you don't like it. Oh, that's crap.
That's why we do more than one clutch. If one sucks, there's always another one.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
true.
Paul, what you got going on? You got any locks going on?
I just had my one. Actually, they're in right now. So I just had the. It's probably going to be a super cypress pied, and it's black pastel cypress pied to a head cypress. You know, I mean cypress head pied. I mean that's what I got. I mean I have a butter. Yeah, I mean I have one. I have only one more breeder ready. Like that's it. Like that's my thing. You know, like so I don't have like projects. So, but I'm excited just as everybody's talking about their projects and everything. Like I'm just buying stuff. Like I ended up just picking up a blackhead hurricane.
Okay. You got that from JDH, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over by me.
A little feisty bastard.
I thought you picked that up, or whatever.
Yeah. So
Paul, you're having problems breeding right now, aren't you?
Oh no, everything's going solid.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I thought you were having all kinds of problems. Don't lie to me.
I was like, yeah, a lot of the ones I was excited for not locking up, and of course the ones I wasn't excited for locked right up, no problem. So
That's funny.
story of my life.
It's always the ones that you don't want, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Apparently I'm going to have a lot of cool hets for sale next year, man. If you need them.
Hey, check out Sport Market now. He has all that pastel stuff.
Oh, dude. I was ahead of the game. Justin came in late. So, I mean, if you guys need pastel in your project, I got you covered.
Well, that's amazing. He'll make a video, and then everybody's now is like, oh, pastel.
Oh, pastels are awesome. I was trying to sell it on the last podcast.
He was. Even before
everyone thought I was crazy, but look.
I heard you.
Yeah, what now? Who's laughing now?
Will got a question for you, Mike, too. What's a combo you made that turned out like crap?
Huh.
Shit. It's the worst snake I've made type deal.
Yeah. What's the worst snake you made?
I don't know, man. I guess ugly single gene shit. I can't think of any combo that didn't work out the way.
Man,
I guess
what was that combo I sent you,
when I
Glenn? That thing was ridiculous.
What's that?
I sent one to Glenn one time that I thought would have been awesome. It was like a Wookiee red stripe clown, something like it.
Yeah,
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
It was terrible looking.
One, and it didn't look like what we thought it was going to look like.
Yeah, I was like, this thing would be awesome. And that look at it, I'm like, oh.
And then Justin posted one for
So
sale.
disappointed.
Like, oh.
I was so disappointed. I was like, man.
Opening up
Don't
a
go that
present
route.
during Christmas and being like,
Yeah. Like, I was like, man, nope.
Yeah, I've only had that one clutch last year, so I should have, I don't know, 7 or 8 go this year. So I've had a lot of locks this year, so it's gonna be a big year for me this year. That incubator might be full this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
he has a question for everybody that gets to get the
Question,
mail.
what did you guys do to get a mail to lock? We talked about this earlier, Jaffrey. Michael suggested that if you really have problems or whatever, that you can actually throw the email in with the mail. That might work. Correct, Mike?
Yeah. What up, Jaffy? Female in with the male. That's worked for me. I put a male in with another male in with the same female. So 2 males in with the same female. And I just watch them 5-10 minutes. I want them to know that they're there, realize there's competition. Female's going to start acting a certain way. I'm hoping he'll catch on to that. Keeping a shed in there is another thing, and a shed from another male in the same one. just knowing there's competition out there, sometimes they'll give that boost to do what they need to do.
I heard somebody's popping the males and then rubbing the shit all over the back.
I've heard that as well too. Yeah.
Hmm.
I can't remember who it was years ago. Just said popping them on a regular basis just helps get them going to begin with. But then the rubbing them all over helps too. So
I think Billy said that actually a
Yeah.
while ago. Now I think about it, I know too that if you pair during a storm too, it helps as well. If there's a
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Biometric.
Yeah, something to do with I think
We had a bad winter up here. Maybe 3 years ago. Just mild weather, no storms, none of the shit that I usually pair through. Worst breeding year I've had yet.
Huh.
I rely on those cold fronts coming
So
through.
then something like that. Then why don't you just before you even? I mean, even if you're doing by for breeding, just spray down the tubs before you put them in. That obviously to get
You can do that. That's a humidity thing. I think it's more the barometric pressure, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, whether it's dry or wet or anything like that, I hear people spray them down during the breeding season. That's never been a thing for me. It's the same with the rodents. I notice a difference in the physiological being of the rodent during the wintertime versus the summertime. Just that barometric pressure. It's not temperature. It's the same temperature in there all year round. It's just it's a different feel, and I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for sure.
Because I mean, it's 82 degrees in this room, regardless of whether it's a snowstorm outside that window or not. But somehow these fuckers know that it's snowing out there, and that's when they get it on. I'll get put 20 males in, and you get 19 locks, and then another day you get 1 lock or something like that.
Oh,
and
I've had
19
that.
locks are usually during some kind of a storm front.
Yep. I've had that happen
So,
for 1 month. I had maybe half of them walk, and then I had a couple of them walk, and then just recently I paired this week, and then they all freaking walk. So I'm like, okay,
That's a lottery. You should be going to play the lottery. That's a lottery. That's a nice lottery ticket right there. All
Well, it
lottery.
would be. We'll see. We'll see what happens with some of them.
He's showing up far right now.
I'm hoping that double head VPI clown goes for me this year.
I'm still quite a few. I still got more clutches than him right now. So what?
It's okay. I had 1 last year.
That's not nice to rub that in, Carl.
He had 3.
3.
How many
All right.
How many you have last year, Michael? I know you're way bigger than us, but
Last year, I think I had a mishap last year with a rack, and I cooked 20 girls' follicles out of them. Fucking hell.
Oh.
So I went from what should have been 50 down to around 33 clutches last year.
So how'd that happen?
I was gonna say,
I got an outer wall here, and it's cement behind it, about a foot behind it. There's insulation and shit, but it was a horribly cold winter for a couple months, and it radiated cold off that wall, which is never done before. I've been in this particular place for 5 or 6 years, and I've never had that problem. And it radiated cold at the probe, which was close to the wall. So this whole side of the rack is staying at 89 because the snakes are also getting the radiating cold. But the other side, where there's no radiating cold, it just kept cooking and cooking up to around 110. So, on the ARS, you can only control up and down, not left to right, while the right side of the rack was 89, left side was 110. And 10 years in this thing, and it's the first time that ever happened. And
that caused any other issues?
Yeah, well, the way I noticed it was I opened the tub, and that girl was in shed. And I'm like, fuck, I swear you shed 5-6 days ago. And it just was screwing with my head. I know these things can't shed every 5-6 days. This particular snake hadn't been eaten in a while. And I just knew something was wrong. So I started looking around. I found another snake in shed that should not have been in shed, considering how long it had been since she eaten. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I started checking my temps. And I'm like, holy shit, the left side of the rack's 110, the right side's 89. How's that even happen? And then I realized that wall was radiating cold air at the probe. And then it was just too late. Probably 10 clowns and OD stuff, bred to Jags, all types of cool shit. It was like my best females in that area. They all reabsorbed. One girl died 12 months later. Some of them took 5-6 months to start eating again. It did a number on them. I'm just lucky still breeding this year. So
wow, that's rough.
So 33 clutches. Before that, 32, and then 22 and 10. I just worked my way. I went from 3 to 7 to 10 to 20 to 30 to whatever.
Right. What's your goal for this year?
Just to make it through the year.
Through the year.
Yeah, fuck, you never know, man. The That one year we had a bad year. I was shooting for like 39 clutches and I got like 7 or something. So you just never know, man. I try not to count on it too much. And I got the rodent business specifically for when this hobby goes up and down or you get a bad year or whatever. I'm still set with that rodent business. So
I was gonna ask you about that. So you breed obviously you breed your own
rodents.
rodents and stuff.
yeah, well, when I started ball pythons, I was getting rodents from the pet store, and I went in and there was a sign saying we're out of mice for a week. And I'm like, all right, a week, whatever. I come back a week later, I keep buying my mice, and then a month later, another sign goes up and it says we're going to be out of mice for a month. As I'm new to this, I'm like, what the fuck, a month, man? I got like 30, 40 snakes that need to be fed. So I'm going to start breeding rodents myself. Screw this. And then the owner of that actual pet store said, hey, man, do you want to be my rodent supplier? And it just within 2-3 years, I was supplying them mice, rats, and ASFs, and they're buying probably 100,000 rodents a year off me. And then I spread out into to the other breeders. So I met Corey Woods reptiles I sold to for a while, Peter Williams reptiles, Chris Towers reptiles, just all the bigger names. I tried to gravitate towards them, and then the bigger pet stores so I could sell like large amounts of rodents, not nickel and diamond and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Do you breed your own, Paul, or do you just buy your rodents?
Not yet. I mean, I don't pay as much as
Carr?
Carr does. But
Well, hey, Carr should just start breeding his own.
I breed them now. What?
get out of here! Stop
I don't know if
lying.
you- I don't know if you heard that story, Mike.
I
but
think that's the smartest move you've done.
yeah. I don't know if you heard that story.
I want to make a fortune. I'll probably be done breeding ball pythons, and I'm just going to be rolling and
Yeah,
selling.
but how
can
long
do
has he
it
been
over
telling
there.
you that? $10 a
Yeah.
fucking rat, and you're fucking
$10
and you're
a
sitting
fucking
there
rat.
with your hands sitting under your asshole. You should-
Yeah,
you should-
yeah.
you
I'm
should-
going to sell them for $8, and people think they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, even just listening to that, I mean, $10 a rat. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So,
Yep.
so
That's
like,
nuts. No matter what size, too, right?
Yeah, anything from small to jumbo. If you get to like your crawlers, your pups, your pinkies, you get it's like $6.50, $7
That's crazy.
for a pinky.
You're being serious, huh?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dead serious.
Yeah, dead serious.
right?
That's what it is over here in Washington State.
Right?
That's awesome,
It doesn't sound serious. I'm like, he's
Yeah,
lying.
it doesn't.
He's lying.
I'll take a picture next time I'm in the damn pet store, and you guys can see the prices, man. You'll be like, dang.
I'll take a picture. We'll pop it up.
Yep.
You're talking pet stores. Yeah, we got them up here in pet stores for really expensive too.
Yeah. Well, this is for their feeders, It's like, so I ended up finding a buddy that was at work. He was breeding them. He's like, well, I sell them for $7 a piece. I'm like, well, all right, let me get 15
Well,
of
then he's
them.
not your buddy.
I'm gonna use that
That's a bullshit move. Just because he knows.
Yeah, well, shit. I got them for $7 a piece. I'm like, that's enough to get started, So
Yeah.
got my little collection going.
So,
Best
And they were all females, except for I got 2 males.
that's the biggest.
He said I got 2 males.
Yeah, 2 males. And like, yeah.
I think over here, I think they were going. I think if I get this pet store, they go for like $5 over here, and I thought
Yeah.
that was expensive.
Right.
I sell my smalls for $3.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Like people that need them off me and stuff, like $3.50 or whatever is about the average price around here
Small
for sure.
rats.
Yeah, it took a while to change public perception. When I got into it, rats were $1.50, and every breeder out there was calling us money hungry, whatever. Those rats were making it over on us. I lost 40 grand in my first 3-4 years trying to be a rodent breeder, making zero money at those prices, while everybody thought we were rolling in it. No, we're fucking starving, dude. So I raised my prices to $3. I took a lot of hell up here in Canada. Like other breeders making fun of me, starting fucking shit, and it's like, dude, you guys aren't doing this as a living. I want to buy a house someday. I don't want to freaking be just paying to feed my collection or whatever. I'm doing this as a
Yeah, no
business.
shit.
Right.
So $3 is a good price for
and
that.
they're still coming to you now anyway, right?
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, some of them left, but they got out of the hobby because they couldn't handle it anyway. But those that have been in it long enough, they realize the rats are going to be $10 a piece, even wholesale, in the next 3-4 years, especially with the way the economy is going. And if you're not breeding snakes that are worth the money to pay for those rodents, then you're in the wrong business, hobby, whatever.
Yep.
I
We
believe
talk
True.
about that every single day almost on here.
Yeah.
I got
You have one-
I mean,
If you have one snake and you're feeding it a $10 rat a week, that's $40 a month. That's still cheaper than a dog for a pet. So it's a great pet price. It's just when you're breeding it, You know, you're going through 200-300 rats a week, and now all of a sudden it's thousands of dollars. It's not $10 anymore. So,
Yeah,
like I said,
that's
produce
true.
snakes that are worth 5 or 10 grand, and that won't be a big deal. And if it's not, then the hobby's kind of shifting right now. So
It is,
Yeah.
especially like with the recession and stuff like that that's going on. We were talking. Me and Carl were talking the other day too. What do you consider a collection? What you know? Because we were talking like, you know, if someone that has like 4 or 5 snakes isn't necessarily a collection, but it's also if you have like 10 snakes that aren't maybe worth a certain amount of dollar, I really wouldn't consider that a collection either.
yeah, honestly, I never really thought about it, but I guess if you're gonna be throwing around words like facility and
Yeah.
collection and stuff like that, you should be making some bank. It should be paying for itself, and you should be making money up. And if you're not, then maybe it's a collection, but it's the pet collection. It's not, you know.
Right.
So
Not a
I
breeder
came under Chris Towers, and Chris Towers Reptiles when I had about 30 animals. And in 1 year with those 30 animals, he made enough money to buy a house. So
Damn.
it's not 30 animals, 300. And I know a guy who had 200 animals who lost all his money and isn't in it anymore. So it's really not about the size of it. It's are you using your collection properly? Are you making bank off that? Are you putting the right males to it? And constantly holding back the best and get rid of the worst. So if you got 30
Right.
animals and that's your number, and you make 2 cool holdbacks this year, it doesn't matter how much you love those 30. 2 of them got to go. Pick the 2 that are the worst on the list, get rid of them,
Right.
move the 2 new in. So a smaller collection is advantageous. So 20, 30 animals, I call that a collection. I call that, if you're making bank off it, it's a business.
Yep.
That's true.
I think we said like what, at least 10 snakes that are worth probably like what, 10 grand or so. You figure it's at least
Yeah, at
$10 a
least
snake.
because we were seeing people were like selling off my collection. It'd be like 5 normals, a pinstripe, and maybe a queen bee or something. Like that's not a collection.
Yeah. So we had that discussion and stuff like that. I'm like, if you don't have at least 10 snakes, or you know, at least $1,000 a pop, which still isn't really going to get you much, you know, in the snake business / industry. I mean, you might get.
It's a good start, though.
It's a good start, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good start.
It
But
should be
you
a
know,
tier system. First tier collection, second tier, third tier. If it's not
Yeah.
third tier, I don't want to see it type deal. If it's first tier, well, I'm not looking for pinstripes and spiders, bro. I mean, I've been in it for a bit. So yeah, it should be advertised as such.
This summer, I'm gonna be redoing my detached garage. I have it. It's in my backyard, so I'm redoing my whole garage, and I gotta run. I'm running out water and running out electric, and gonna end up redoing the whole inside, and then insulating it and doing that. So like, I'm not like I'm stuck at what I'm doing, but like, I'm also in the midst of redoing my basement. So like, it's like I'm throwing everything everywhere now. Like I'm like, oh, what am I doing? And then in the summer, that's what I'm gonna be doing, and then getting my snakes out there. And then that's when I'm probably gonna end up doing doing something with the rats, because I know it's eventually coming. Yeah, everyone's even talking about sooner or later the rats are gonna be phased out and it's just gonna be all ASFs. I'm like, really?
dude, the thing with ASFs though, dude, is they take forever to grow up.
They do, and they don't get as big.
They don't
You
get
know,
as
when
big.
you're getting it, when you're talking about
I
a
don't
street or
believe
female, they need.
I don't believe that, because I mean I was at the where I get mine. The fucking
Right.
AFF was like they're so fucking huge.
But
I'm
do you
like,
know how
that's
long
Jesus.
it's that big?
It was
I
huge.
did ASF up to around 240 grams, the size of a nice sized medium rat.
Yeah.
Wow.
It takes 3
Okay.
or 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh well, see, that's too long. You could get a rat up to that size in
But-
2-3 months.
So I did an experiment a few years ago. So the only rat or snake I've ever, they say you're going to make your snake obese, power feeding, all that shit. I don't believe in power feeding. I think a snake's
No.
going to stop moving when it gets to a certain point. I've had
Right,
one
right.
snake ever that got obese to where it couldn't coil a snake anymore. It had to body check the snake up against the side because it was so fat. And I was feeding it ASFs. And I'm like, fuck, I've never seen that happen, dude. Like hundreds of snakes. I'm going to do experiments, mice, rats, snakes, various numbers of them over a 2-year period and see what's best for the snake. And
Right.
one
Did you do
big
straight
ass
weight?
ASF a month is all you need, maybe every 2 months. So yeah, it takes 4 years to make the ASF, but you only have to feed it every month or two, literally. And if you feed it more than that, you're just fattening up your snake more than needs to be. So 3 mice a week, one small rat a week, or one big ass ASF every month or two was what I found to be equal to grow a snake at an equal rate.
No
That's
shit.
interesting. That's
Yeah,
good
those ASF
information.
are so
That is
fattening. If you feed
interesting.
a big ASF every week, your snake's just gonna get fat as hell, probably not want to breed. And
That's interesting. That's good intake, you guys.
I like that.
I'm gonna have to look at the fat content of an ASF like compared to a rat because I know like mice have more fat content to them than a rat.
ASF is like feeding a snake is like feeding a snake a steak compared to a burger for a rat, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, like ASFs are like the best to feed it, pretty much, and then rats and then mice.
yeah, I would agree. If you get a snake to eat all three, I think that's ideal. But I don't have many that
Right.
do that.
Right. I got one that eats ASF and she won't
Nothing else.
anything else. Nothing.
I had that when I bred lots of ASF. I purposely put a bunch of girls on ASF because I was doing that experiment. And then when I decided that ASFs weren't what I wanted to go with, it took me probably 6 months to a year to get them all switched back onto something else again. The last one held out for a full 12 months. But
Right.
that was the biggest one, so it wasn't a big deal anyway. But
I'll have to get some AFS now.
Yeah, that ASF is going to be what, $30 for one?
Yeah,
Actually, they're only $5. I can get an ASF for $5.
that's crazy.
Then why
$57
the
bucks.
fuck aren't you feeding your fucking snakes ASF?
Because they're harder to get.
Oh, okay. All right, well,
I can't get the quantity I need. Like usually, I can get like 5 or 6 at a time, and when I got 41 snakes,
I'll back
Doesn't
off.
do you
All
well.
right.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feed.
Of course, I got some stubborn ones that only eat mice. So
Same.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like I said, I always wondered that. I was gonna do that experiment, but I just can't produce the ASFs fast enough compared to the rats, or just I'd be short.
I had a building
Yeah.
for each back in the day. I had an ASF operation that had its own building. I had a mouse building, and I had a rat building. And I've had multiple outbreaks within my colonies over the years to shut down my business a couple of times. And the last one, I just was like, "Fuck it, man, rats only this time."
How big?
Yeah.
How big is your facility? Your rat facility?
I've only got maybe 1,500 breeders. When I used to pull the females out and put them in prego tubs, I had probably twice that much. But after years of working my colony, I was able to switch over to just leaving the babies in the tub. They don't get trampled anymore. Way better production on way less rats. So,
Okay.
so I produce maybe 70 or 80,000 rats a year. I think.
Woo! That's all you do now.
Man.
You said it's just rats.
Yeah, like I said, I did mice and ASF too, but I've had my first outbreak cost me 10 grand. My second one cost me 30. And just the stress, man, the 6 months of rebuilding your company, losing all your customers, starting fresh again. It's just not fun. So I just concentrated on one thing. I'm like, I'm not rebuilding 3 businesses at the same time. I'm just going to do this. And then that's what I did.
I know.
That's
Will just said. I was just reading what Will was saying about his ASFs go from birth to small rat size in 5 weeks now. He's like whatchamacallit, he mixes his food and everything else instead of what he was talking about. Everybody that uses Missouri or something like that. So yeah. And now he's getting faster growth. That's pretty wild. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Will you
That's
feed
up.
your rats and stuff, Mike?
What's that?
So what do you feed your rats? Do you use the Missouri or do you use another type of
No,
brand?
we don't sell it up in Canada. Some people import it, but I'm not about to start spending that kind of money. We use Purina Rat Chow. It's formulated for rats. It's almost the exact same ingredients. 18% protein, which is the main factor. And that's about it. I've never tried anything else, dog food or fox food or pig food or any of that crap. The rat food is priced adequately. That it's just buy it.
We gotta be
I know
careful.
people that use dog food and all that stuff too as well, and they get the same production and everything else. I think it's just what it just what's good for you, and it ends up if you're doing it for so long, I guess you'll end up just breeding out the bad shit and everything else, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be careful with the dog food. You gotta be careful with that red dye, because red dye stuff's not good for the snake.
Oh, what in the dog food and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
you gotta be careful with that because it's not good for the snakes at all. I use Kill Bosch too, Pike, for sure, 100%. It's cheaper than Missouri's, same thing, pretty much. It's like
What's
$10.
yours? We're
What
about
was that?
25, 27 bucks a bag up here for a 50-pound bag.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, I pay the Kill Bosch here in town. I paid 21, 22, I think it is, and it was 18 before all the economic crap went on.
Oh,
The Missouri at that time, I think, was like 25, but it went all the way up to like 32 here. It went up almost $10 a bag. So it was the
To
easiest.
get that,
way.
you'd be looking at 50 bucks a bag to get that stuff up here.
Gosh.
And
With
to me,
shipping?
like I say, there's a Purina rat chow place just up the road. To me, that's good enough. So I've been
right.
doing it for
Yeah.
8 or 9 years, and I consider myself
why
to have some of
change
the
it?
best rodents in Canada. So
Yeah, why change it?
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So do
when
you-
there is a problem, we've had quality control problems over the years, and I just make sure we're right on them. I go to the supplier, I give them a bunch of rat pellets that I'm not happy with. They send them back to the company with a little video from me explaining what I'm not happy with, and they can either fix it, give me a reason why it happened, we'll get you back, here's 20 free bags, or I'm moving on to the next company. But that's how I do it. I got my own quality control. They will eventually sell you shit, and you got to let them know, no, this is getting bad. You need to, whoever's making your formula, you fire them,
Right.
hire somebody who knows what they're doing, whatever. But
That's pretty cool. As soon as you say something, they're like, "Oh, sorry. Now, hold on, we'll get it better."
Yeah, I
yeah,
gotta
well,
keep-
powder, like you're paying for chunks, and there was a few years in a row there where every winter they would screw up the recipe. They got to add more molasses in the winter because it's something to do with the temperature and the storage and whatnot. And it was going moldy on us, and if it wasn't going moldy on us, it was half powder. And finally,
Okay.
I'm like, we need to talk to the
Oh,
company. We need to get a 3-way conversation. The people producing it, the people supplying me, and we need to figure out what's wrong, or I'm moving on to another place. And they had hired somebody new, and their new chef just couldn't get it down. So we ended up moving from another company to Purina, and at least they're on top of the quality control. So
That's crazy.
That's
How many hours a week do you say you put in?
now that it's just rats, anywhere from 50 to 60. When I was doing the mice and the ASFs, 80 to 100.
Wow.
No shit, man. I would work 18 hours. I would go to my homie's place when he got off work from the pet store, and we'd talk about snakes until 11, 12 at night. I'd come back and keep working until 4 in the morning, get my 3-4 hours sleep. And I did that over and over for a few years trying to build this company. I mean, I got the rodent business built, and I got an outbreak. Fuck, what do I do? So I took apart every last rat, screw by screw, disinfected it all, put it back together, bought new rats, started new colonies, all this shit. And then I got another one. And it was just round the clock, building new racks, moving buildings, disinfecting buildings, trying to grow the snake shop. It was just insane, man. So
Do you know what caused that outbreak?
yeah, there was a few of them, like I say, over the years. Meningococcal was one. It's like a disease that goes through old age homes, wipes out the sickest people, and then it's gone. And I got that in my rodents. And back then, I kept my rodents as big as they would get. 2, 3, 4-year-old was like a good breeder, big size litters and all that shit. But they're also, just like COVID shit, they're more susceptible to illness and disease. So when meningococcal came through, it wiped out 90% of my shit in 24 hours.
That's wild.
And
Damn.
it was hardcore. And that next
24
one was
hours?
pneumonia.
I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what happened. The guy had that problem. So I would come home from work and stuff after working 12 hours and stuff. And I'd come home and I'd have at least 10, 12 dead rats every 12 hours after I'd come home or like when I wake up. And that happened for at least 4 or 5 days. I had to do the same thing. I'd tear everything apart, redo the water lines, clean everything, and then it just kind of stopped. And it seemed like it was kind of the older rats, but I mean, I did have some younger colonies too that died. So I wonder if it was something similar to that. I had that same problem too.
There's so many different rodent diseases out there, and almost every colony carries 2 or 3 of them, and they're fine. They're immune to it at this point. One of my biggest outbreaks is I had rats growing for 6 or 7 years, and I thought I need some new blood. I've had them for a long time. They must be getting stale. Just trying to do the right thing. I thought I brought in some new blood, trying to introduce them to my rats, And 72 hours later, my entire business was fucking crashed. Just I
Damn.
lost everything overnight. Like
Damn.
first night, I realized it was all going to be dead. Within 72 hours, I was putting down the very last of my rats. It was that quick.
That's
And,
crazy.
Yeah, and the ones I brought in, the 100 I brought in, every one of those lived. My other 1,000 died. So they had one of them had at some point gotten pneumonia, and they became immune to it. They got built up pathogens in them, and they came to my old colony, and they had never experienced pneumonia. And when they caught it, it was quick.
Wow.
Hmm.
Paul, have you ever had any bad shit happen like that?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No.
Give it time
Absolutely not.
for it will happen.
So, but it's like breeding pigs. You got to
I-
put in the.
I'm sure, like, but I'm listening and learning because that's crazy. Because you know what? Eventually, I'm gonna be like, well, what the fuck happened to these fucking 1,000 rats?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure it out. Use the. I'll give you a clue too. Use the black water lines too. Don't use the
Oh
clear ones.
shit! No kidding.
I found
I
that
did
one
the
out
same
the
thing.
hard way.
I used clear maple syrup lines for the first 2-3 years. They got all filled with that white calcium shit.
Yeah.
You got to throw them out.
They get infected. They get algae because the sunlight will grow in the water lines and stuff. I think that's what kind
Oh,
of
would you
happens,
use
too.
clear water lines?
No, use black.
No,
Yeah.
what you used?
Oh, I had clear ones, yeah, from the get go, and then I had that infection go through my colonies and stuff, and I switched everything all over and cleaned everything, and I switched to Colgan water instead of the city water here because our city water is shit. And once I switched over to Colgan water, got fixed my rat lines and disinfect everything, it all went away. So I don't know if it had something to do with the water, if it had something to do with the lines. It's a little bit of mixture of both. I don't know, but that shit went away real fucking quick when I did that. So it took me, oh man, dude, it took me like 3 months to recover from that. So like I know where Mike's coming from. Like I didn't have that big of a, come up to do or whatever. But I mean, it still hurt because I was still buying rats from people. Like Justin, remember that? Like I sent him pictures like, tell me I'm rich in Washington without saying nothing. I sent him a picture of 140 rats. I'm like, this is like $2,000 for you, dude. So
Yep. Freaking A.
freaking A.
Yeah, there's no warning either. You just go out there one day and it happens. I just went out one night. I used to go out every night and check on the rats before bed. And I opened the tub and there was a pregnant one that was her spine was showing, but she was fat as fuck and it just didn't look right. I could tell right away. I picked her up and you shouldn't be able to feel her spine like that. What the fuck? And then the other two in the same tub were like that. Tub next to it was like that. Tub next to it, and by the third tub, my heart fucking sunk like into my stomach immediately. There's no way 3 tubs in a row should be experiencing the same problem. So I ran to the other end of the room. Let's see how far this would spread. Open, fuck, it's all the way to the back corner, and it just spreads like that with rodents. But
Oh yeah, real quick.
That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy, though. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
it is what it is. And
Yeah.
I've been 3-4 years now with no wood to knock on around here without any outbreaks, and I don't
Yeah,
plan on
find out
having.
Fine, knock on wood.
Right?
I used to let a lot more people in my shop too,
Right.
and I don't do that anymore. Anybody can bring anything in with
Yeah.
them. You can
Yeah.
have a cold, common cold,
Yes,
and
it is,
spread
John.
to Iraq and kill my shit. So, not worth it.
It's a good idea. Good
Yeah.
idea. He's like, is that Paul? Yes, that's Paul.
Yes.
Yes, he brought Paul in.
Hi, John.
Tired of giving him crap or whatever on the live chat. Tell him to come join the podcast for once. I give him crap
Yes.
in person. Paul's done though.
Hell
Bye,
yeah.
Paul. No, I'm just kidding.
You're a real dick. Hey, what happened to that surprise? What
All
surprise
right,
did you get?
this is your surprise. You're done.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Backstage, you're done. We'll get back to you later.
I don't like that you have that power. I don't like that. You
I
have
know.
that power of your
So funny.
fucking finger.
It's good stuff, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
What's your end game, Michael? Do you have one for the snakes?
Yeah, man. So it was maybe 2015 when I decided I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy a house doing this shit, and I'm gonna retire off ball pythons. I've been putting everything into it since. My best year was probably 100 and something grand. This year, going into the year, I sold 3 snakes for almost 30 G's, like the first couple months of the year.
Dang.
And I'm starting to tabulate this, and I'm like, fuck, man, you're making 150 a year right now. That just happened overnight. So I'm trying to get up to $250,000, 250 a year. I want to buy this property off my parents. They're in their 80s now, and like we got a full, really nice acre in the city here, all forested in with a tennis court out back and whatnot. My facility is already here. My rat business is already here. So the next step for me is to accumulate the funds to buy this place. And I think it'll happen, man. I don't worry too much about this up and down economy with the snakes. I came in so passionate at a time that was just like this, when everybody else was getting out and talking shit and being negative. I'm like, whatever, dude. I love snakes, man. And I wrote it through it, and then I made 20 grand one year, and then I made 100, and then the whole time people are talking shit. And this next couple of years we're going into is the perfect time to put your head down, enjoy the hell out of yourself, and you're going to come out of it, the other side of it, and it's going to be even better, because 3/4 of us are going to drop off over the next couple of years. A lot of people came into the pandemic as pandemic babies, we call them, or whatever, right? So they thought the hobby just went like this, and then 6 months in, they realize it, and they're dropping out.
It's like they say,
stick with it for 2 more years, and it pops back up again. So
yeah, you on your, I think it was on your Facebook, you posted the ball python market based on houses or whatever. Remember that post that you posted?
Yeah.
You had the pre-COVID, you had like some houses, and then you had COVID. We had all these freaking houses all scattered, and then you had like post, and like you had these big fans. Yeah, it's pretty much spot on.
There were a couple people who didn't agree with that, but I see even less people are going to survive out of this one than the last one, but the houses are bigger.
Yep.
By what I mean by that is the breeders are bigger. So every time you survive one of these things, you come out of it even bigger. So while we had maybe 70, 80 breeders, we were down to 20 or 30 up here at our expos. And then we were up to almost 100, and we're going to lose a bunch of them because a lot of them came in during the high time, like I said. And I think at the other end of it, what you're going to have is those guys that have made it through 4 crashes, and they're living in big houses now. They're proof that if you just stick with this shit, it pays off in the end. So we might not come back super strong right after COVID or right after this, but I think we're going to come back enough that the people in it are going to be living proof that it's doable. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Paul, do you have an end game for you, or what's your plans, man?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going anywhere. You know, I mean, I got a full-time job. I'm on the job, so I work in a jail. You know,
right.
and the overtime is abundance because the criminals love to fuck up. So I have a job, and you know what? And I just put my head down, and I love what I do. You know, with the snakes now and everything, I get you know, just even just thinking about what I can do and what, you know, it's like the lottery, like hitting a lottery ticket. You know, I just like, I got to do this. I'm like, wait, but I still got 2 years to wait to do that. You know.
Yep.
So, but I'm not going anywhere. Like, you know, and I get it, but so, you know, like I said, I'm gonna be dropping $30,000 for that garage.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I think once you get past a certain threshold of how much money you got involved into it, it's hard just to kind of walk away.
You're throwing shit at your dog.
Throwing shit at the dog. We got animal abuse on freaking the podcast with Carr over here. You just hear the dog.
I didn't hit anybody. I just fucking didn't hit nobody.
Dude,
I
was enough to scare him to shut up.
That flip-flop come back and hit you in the head would be the best thing in the fucking world.
That'd be epic. I'd laugh.
I'd lose.
I'm enough drinks into it. I'd just laugh. Oh, yep. See, she came. She listened.
Cool thing, Paul, is a few years from now, you'll look back at what you have now, and it'll dovetail into all your future projects. And I produced 90% of the females in this room, and they all came from animals I bought 7-8 years ago. Pinstripes, Mojaves, lesser single gene shit. That I just, you know, added Tri-Strep to it, added this to it, and 7, 8, 10 years later, you know, you're telling the story. This snake came from this snake I had 8 years ago, and I bred it to this, bred it to that, bred it to this, and it's a fun game, man. Stick around for sure.
And it's just like, and like, I mean, I don't know, like, you know, just from bullshitting back and forth, you know, all we do is me and Glenn banter back and forth at each other. Like, this is how I expect this, like, you know. And meeting you and everybody, you know, patting each other on the back and say, let's do it. Instead of, you know, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. You know what? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. But you know what? Everybody has a bad egg. There's going to be bad eggs everywhere. But stop running your fucking mouth or stop. It's
It's
enough.
not, bringing people down too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
so and I'd rather bring people up more than anything else,
yeah,
because
for sure.
there's a lot more people that that are supportive than anything else, and I've met all those people that I'm with. I'm with a lot. Blue Line Morphs, AJ's Exotics is awesome. Me and him have a love-hate relationship. I got Reptile Creation, Empire Exotics. I'm with some guys that are awesome. They're just awesome. For reptiles in California, Red Line from out in California. They're all top guys, and and they want nothing but like the best for people.
For sure. You need to get me in contact with freaking Blue Line. I would like to do a podcast with him on here. I've followed him for quite a while.
So, and you're absolutely right, Mike. I like that's like my future. I want to have, but like, I've done that and I did that and have that. That's exactly what I want to be.
You got a good group of friends like that helps so much. I got that up here in Canada too, where if there's anything that pops into my mind, I know there's one or two dudes I can message and they'll stop whatever they're doing, be super interested to hear about it, bounce some shit back at me, and it's a great place to meet people, man. You got right up there, you got the same best hobby in common, and
I started not all snake banter and talk on Instagram and everything, and now my friends that have nothing to do with snakes are like, and I go to work and they're like, "You're a fucking weirdo." Yeah, motherfucker. Absolutely. I've been a weirdo for a long fucking time, and just obviously fuck that. I got fired from my job 2 years ago. I'm 7 years sober. I'm a fucking whack job. It just happens to be that way. I don't give a shit.
All community is riddled with.
Yeah, if you got that one person, like you guys said, that will help you support, and you can talk to about projects. Because Carl will be like, man, I kind of want to buy this. I sit there, I'm like, does it really fit into any of your projects, bro? Or he'll do the same thing with me or whatever.
And then he goes out, buys it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I just buy it anyhow, but a lot of times it does go with the projects and stuff. Or like, we talk about the prices and stuff because, like, people that are educated in this industry / business, like, should be some people that you trust and that you can sit there and help make business decisions with, so you're just not, think you're doing it, on your own. You shouldn't have to do it on your own sometimes. You just have someone to kind of consult a little bit to help you along.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it helps having somebody to see them making it too. Like I got 3 or 4 dudes, like I say, we all run together. And every time that guy makes a move and buys a new ARS, fuck, right on. I sit up and I'm like, geez, I got to get another one. And I'll produce something cool, and they'll be like, oh, you made that? Fuck, I need to buy one of those. And we really push each other, man. We're always trying to one-up each other in the best way. We're going to mess each other and brag about it, but it's all in fun, and it makes it so much better.
That's true. It's like friendly competition.
100%.
That's what's fun with me and Carr, because me and Carr are on different spectrums.
Yeah.
So like I'm on like this spectrum and he's over here, so it doesn't really matter. So that's what's kind of nice about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who I can't jive with what they're doing, but at the end of the day, don't tell me about the morph. Let's just talk about the ball python and the industry and the racks, and there's still so much cool shit to talk about, even if I'm not in the lavender and that guy is or whatever. So what, man? We're both geeking out and loving our shit just as much as the other person. So
true.
Yeah, absolutely.
True that.
And then we're responsible too for bringing new people in. So I know you guys probably do this too. I just bought a trailer recently, an expo trailer, maybe 3-4 months ago. Yeah, that guy messaged me tonight. He's trying to get his daughter to get a ball python based off the freaking excitement that I exuded when I was in there buying that trailer, man. He's literally shopping ball pythons. I just got to buy a trailer off out in the country. And then the weed store I go to, every last one of them checks out my Instagram. I go into the coffee shop. Every last one of them knows what I do, man. I seen that post last night with the pies, bro. And just I'm constantly, everybody, man. I don't care who you are. What'd you say? What do I do for a living? No, I didn't ask you that. Well, I'll fucking tell you anyway, dude. I breed ball pythons.
Yep. Can incorporate into any conversation.
Yeah. You might only brook in 1 out of 20 or 30 people, man, but that's how we grow this thing. And eventually, like I say, 10 years from now, 2 or 3 dudes at the show. It took you 200 people to get those 2 or 3 dudes, but they're at the show with you now, man, and it's grown, and you're friends, and that's how I came into it. The people who accepted me, I'm now really good friends with. So,
for sure, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing YouTube now for I think like a year, like about 2 years now. It's grown quite a bit with the podcast and stuff. It's really fun. Like I enjoy the shit out of it. So speaking of which, don't forget we're doing that 500 subscriber giveaway, guys. Once it hits, Car's giving away that pair of Het Pieds, and that's gonna be free shipping. I'm gonna give away a free shirt, and I think we do got some other people that are gonna get in on it for the giveaway. We're actually up to 371 now. So, or no, 372 last I checked.
There we go.
So it's
Moving
gone
on
up quite a bit since the end of the year. So keep it up. Got another 125 to go before we can do this. So like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, subscribe on another computer. Don't matter. Make it happen. So
That's nice. Good.
Definitely.
So, Michael, what is one of? Oh wait, sorry. This is Will here. This is why Michael is one of my top 10 favorite breeders. Not only about the snakes. Yeah, Will's a big fan of you, Mike.
Will is all over the place. I love this guy.
Will is all over. I give
Yeah.
props to Will because like Will is everywhere. Any podcast that
Everywhere.
you can find, like he's there. Will is like the definition of support right there. I tell you what.
Oh, he 100%. I was talking to him the other day before everything, and me and him were just talking. And I'm like, I gotta get up early. I gotta go to work. He's like, oh, me too. I'm like, all right, bud.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for Will too, I probably wouldn't have gotten into the podcast as well because he introduced me to Tiki's and all them and stuff. So that's kind of like where the podcast came from and got me into the podcast. Like, this is awesome. I love this. Like I said, anything you can do to freaking grow is, and learn and talk to other breeders and stuff. It's freaking, it's awesome.
That's
Right.
it.
True.
So,
Hold on,
you have any snakes you want to show off, Paul? What some of your bangers you got, man?
Oh,
Let's see some of your
Bangers.
you got. I know you got something.
Got a banger. I'll show you.
Jeez. Carl, I'm gonna mute you. You're drunk.
what we got?
No, I'm just kidding. You got.
What I got here?
There's always sign language.
That's true. You ain't wrong about that.
Let's see if I can do this on.
All right, I'll blow you up. I'll blow you up. Let's see. Oh, wrong person.
Where we got?
Yeah.
Do we see you?
Yep, there you go. What you got there?
All right.
So we got a the red stripe. I got
Higher.
yeah,
Go higher.
higher. There we
Yep.
go.
There you go.
How's that? Red stripe.
To the left.
Left to the left to the left.
There you go. Right there.
Go
Higher.
ahead. Just go, I'm just hire you right out the fucking door, bud.
I'm freaking pushing the backstage, Paul.
I'm just trying to learn here. There you go. So yeah, I got the. I think it's the red. I think here it is. Red stripe. Red stripe spot nose.
Definitely spot.
Oh yeah, look at that
Yeah.
quick head
Stripe on it. I'll
stamp.
tell you if it's
Look at
red
that.
stripe or
If you
not.
can get the head stamp. She likes to not sit around.
Yeah, she had a nice head stamp. I saw it real quickly. There it is.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Said it looked like Santa Claus.
It almost looks like it has like another set of eyes
Upside
on that head.
Yeah,
stamp.
yeah.
That's kind of cool as shit.
Yeah, that is cool.
That is really cool.
So yeah.
Not gonna lie, it looks like you got dick and balls on its head.
Yo, I
gonna
said
say,
the
am I the only
same
one
thing,
who-
dude.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's what it
Absolutely.
looks like.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
awesome.
I'm not the only one.
Yep. So I just pulled that out.
Is that a male or a female?
This is a female. No,
Okay.
actually, no, this is a male. I'll show you what I want to pair him to, though.
That's a cool ass head stamp.
That is.
So once you see this, you'll probably figure out like kind of what I wanted to do, basically.
Yeah, probably. We're telling you. You're telling us all your secrets now. I got it.
Yeah, see how that works?
See how that works?
See?
So I got the black pastel, yellow belly, head paint. Weird.
Oh,
Okay, you got some head paint.
Nice. I always love black pastel and clown just go together really
It
well.
does.
And she's a little bitch too. So yeah. And then I got an awesome snake that Will doesn't like.
What's
Says
that?
it's just a yellow snake.
Just a yellow
The
snake.
DG.
Very nice.
Oh, that's right up Glenn's alley.
Oh, yeah, it's DG and hypo. Yeah, it's all
GG and hypo.
Hyper. Love it.
What else? Where is it? There you go.
Dang.
Yeah. That's a girl.
No, he's the male.
That's the male.
Yeah.
Does he have for anything? It's just DG.
No, it's a pastel leopard DG het hypo het clown.
Okay, now we're
Oh,
talking.
okay.
So yeah. So I got a lesser hypo het DG. So yeah. Got a
Very
few
nice.
things here and there, you know.
Nice.
Didn't know you had that.
What?
I didn't know you had that. He says, "I see. Now we're getting you to spell your secrets." Right. I'm just gonna call this the Secrets Podcast Spiller. Get you to spill all your secrets.
It's called Spill the Beans.
Spill the beans.
Hell yeah.
And I just got Enchi leopard clowns. I got Enchi spot nose clown. Gonna go for super. What the super? What is it? Super Enchi Batmans or whatever. Just gonna.
Oh,
Okay.
what's your long term game like morph wise? Like you have a project you're trying to hit?
So one of the Cypress I have is it's DG, a het DG.
Okay.
I think I want to go Cypress Pie DG.
Okay.
So
It'd be nice. I like Cypress Pie.
So I think I want to hit that. He says bright yellow blade. This son of a bitch, Will. I'm telling you.
Michael, do you have a long term project you're trying to hit right now?
Oh, it's all long term. I used to do 2-year projects, 3-year projects, 5-year projects. Now it's like death is the end game. So every project takes like 5 years, and you start counting how many years you got left to live, and it's like, holy fuck, I got like 6 projects left in me. So it's just trying to get everything I got right now to fruition. Combining it all in the right combinations. I want to make, like I said, redhead, blackhead, vanillas, those triple codoms mixed into all types of recessives. Ultra Pied, redhead, blackhead, vanilla. Ultra Pied DG, redhead, blackhead, vanilla. I just think that's going to be a crazy combo, and I want to put it in a bunch of different directions. So that's one.
Sure.
I've been working on Tri-Stripe for years now. I bought a gene called Electric years ago, and I actually bought it as a lesser. The guy who sold to me said it's probably not electric, and then I got a home, bred it. It was electric. So I held back like 10 electrics, and then that year, the founder of the Electric bred 2 together and realized that they were het Tri-Stripes from the wild, his own line.
Oh,
So I'm
dang.
like, no kidding. So my electrics are pos het Tri. So I spent 4 years trying to get the Tri out of them, and I finally got it. So now I've got lesser Tris and Mojave Tris and Tri-Stripes, and I'm working that project. Took me a while to get to where it is now, but eventually it'll be dovetailed into all my other stuff. Trying to make redhead Tri-Stripes this year.
I'm watching that redhead project very closely. I want to. Do you do a lot of importing to United States and stuff?
I've imported a couple animals from the U.S. and that's about it. Usually it's from within Canada.
Do you?
Just like I don't know if you follow my zigzag puzzle at all, but I got that from Corey Woods. I looked for puzzle for 4 or 5 years till I found at the time what was to me the most amazing puzzle I had ever seen. And now Ozzy's making these weirdo things, and we've compared. We think it's the same thing. So I've been calling mine zigzags before the weirdo even. So I'm sticking with that. But that's something I picked up in Canada. I got Scaleless Head years ago when it was still cool. I got it from within Canada.
What up, Stan?
What up, Stan? Do you do a lot of exporting? Do you sell a lot to United States too?
Probably 90% of my real sales are U.S. or Europe. Yeah.
Okay.
I make a handful of expo sales up here or local sales. I wholesale a bunch up here, but if 80% of my income comes from the U.S. or from Europe, yeah.
Okay.
We're an economy that started 5 years after yours, so we're already behind you in the ball pythons economy wise. Like we're just what's cool down there 5 years ago took a while to get up here. It's a little quicker moving these days. So like guys like Will Morrows and Mark and myself and Towers, we bring shit in as soon as we see it now. So it's a little quicker to get up here. But there's only so many of us up here that are really going at this thing. I mean, we got a smaller demographic than you got down there, way less people. And like I say, a hobby that's a few years behind yours and when it started. So
it's kind of like it's good and bad for you because like I said, like here, you pretty much have to go. If you want to like make it, you gotta pretty much go high dollar right now. You know what I mean? Like freaking, to have any shot at it or to get your name out there and stuff like what you're working with, you gotta go high dollar right now. I mean, like
the thing up here is people don't think they can make it. So they look at our economy and our amount of people to show up to our expos and there's no way I can do this for a living. But they don't realize it's a global thing and other countries are opening up their doors to something that was illegal only a year or two ago. China, for instance, is starting to let snake. There's all types of different countries that are now legalizing the import of ball pythons, and there's literally not enough ball pythons to supply the world market. So they see the small expos, the small numbers up here, and it's a little overwhelming. But once you get to talking to these Americans, you get somebody from Europe saying, "I'll send you 10 grand, send that to me," and you boost that confidence level in yourself, and you realize, I can be on the world stage. I don't have to only sell to my locals or whatever. So.
I don't think it's even the expos, really. I mean, it's more, like I said, it's more a morph market and selling online nowadays, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to go to the expos are probably, realistically, I think you really going to go sell a $10,000 snake at an expo unless it's Tinley or something like that? Probably not. You know what I mean? I don't know how the expos are there in Canada, but.
They're slow. I sell the $5,000-$10,000 animal, but it's usually $500 to $1,000. Yeah. You're educating a lot of new people, especially this state of the hobby now where there's a lot of the people are newer. They're just coming into it, and it's your job to teach them that a ball python doesn't have fangs. It's not poisonous or venomous, and get through them all that. But the good thing is, like I said, some of those people eventually do make it up to your level, and that's how we build our industry up here. So there's maybe 20 or 30 players that show up to our expos. The other 100 and something vendors are they're newbies. They're getting into it. Who knows if they're going to be here in a few years.
Right.
And
yeah.
I don't know where I was going with
that, but just trailed off here.
That's funny.
More babble sometimes.
I do probably I might want to get a Jaguar off you one of these days. I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely, man. Did you see the post I made with the actual pyramid?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that.
So you say you want to buy it when the price comes down. The top of the pyramid, there's none available.
Right.
One step down, there's 3 available. One step down, there's 300, and then at the bottom, there's 3,000. So you want to wait till there's 3,000 to get in? That's what I always say to people. Say I'm going to wait or whatever, but
no. I got 2 of them on hold. I got 2 on hold right now. I got to finish paying off. Like,
hold on one second.
I got a badass hypo something that's on hold right now that I'm pretty fond on right now. Car's like, you gonna give it away? No, I'm not giving it away, Car. But I do like to get into Jaguars. I know Car wants to get into Stranger, don't you?
Yep, definitely. That'll be my next one after I pay off this girl that I got right now. She'll be paid off this week.
Do you have any morphs, Mike, that that you don't have that you like to have?
Oh. I can't even remember the name of it. There's a cool one in Europe right now. That freaking dude that lifts weights.
The Bang?
With names, man. His daughter dated Chris Eaton for a little while.
Are you talking Gavin?
No. Fuck, I can't remember. I don't know him and his wife too well, but I remember the daughter dating Chris, and then based on that, I looked into their stuff, and he's got some new gene he's exporting across the world right now. I can't remember what it is though.
Oh.
But that was one. The nanny was kind of cool, but I think the nanny is probably there's 2 or 3 genes out there floating around the thing, and I want to wait for that to all equalize and figure out what's what and where the price ends up. But I don't know, man. I'm happy with what I got right now.
Right, for sure. Sometimes you just gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a couple.
like I have the opportunity to trade stuff all the time, and the more stuff you bring in, like I said, the more stuff you got to hold back, and it's just you can only take it so far. So I'm
That's
happy
true.
with what I got. I got a confusion, just a single confusion combo female. I kind of wish I got in that a little earlier. I think that's kind of cool.
Have you seen the Cosmos or the Tornado, Gene? What was the
I think it might be the tornado. Maybe the tornado. I don't know if that's it or not.
The Cosmos and the Tornado Genes are pretty insane. I know someone posted those.
Yeah.
Got one of the ball python websites and stuff, and the Cosmos, that thing is just insane. I'm like, wow.
Who's spearheading the tornado? Do you know?
I don't know. Will, do you know who spearheaded the Tornado, Gene, or not? I know freaking Kabelka got some Cosmos. I know that he got like
Of
3 of them.
course.
What?
Tornado
Of
might
course.
even be that dude I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure who got into the Tornadoes. Like I just started catching wind not too long ago, like towards the end, like middle of last year or so. It's like,
Yeah.
but like, you didn't really see the combos out until like just recently. So it's pretty.
That's obscure projects that when I say, have you heard of this? And everybody says no, that's usually what I like. So have you guys heard of Saffron?
Never heard of it.
Saffron
Okay.
yet?
I'm down.
You
Sign
guys
me
heard
up.
of the Saffron yet or Saffron?
Nope. Nope.
Okay, Chris Towers hatched out a snake a few years ago. I don't know if you guys know Chris or not. He's big up here in Canada. And he finally made a super last year, a super Saffron. He made another one this year. They're fucking crazy.
Are they?
So
Huh.
so that's my new project. I was the first one to buy in. I spent almost 10 grand on the first Saffron this year. And just like the Jag, I'm going to ride that shit. Like I think it's going to be awesome. I think the super is really going to make a punch in the industry. So that was my recent one, Saffron. Before that, Jag wasn't known at all. So that was really fun getting into that. Redhead was known, but it hadn't taken off yet. So just getting into stuff to where I mentioned to people, have you heard of this? And they say no, that excites me.
Yeah.
Mark Manick has a
Right.
gene right now called a Scramble. I'm standing around a group of 20 dudes at a expo a couple months ago. I'm like, Scramble. And I thought one of them would fucking know what I was talking about. None of them. I'm like, seriously, dude? Right on. I need to scramble. Nobody knows what the fuck it is yet. It's awesome. I need to get into that wild. Nobody knows what it is. So
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one either. I've heard of the Cosmos, the Tornado, and stuff. Like those are badass. I like to see what the Scramble does.
it's pretty
Yeah.
cool, man. He's got it in a couple pie combos, and it almost adds like, it's really hard to explain the pattern, but the orange is a different color orange than you see in any other snake. And I recognize it right away. And then I see my buddy Matt Pistone had one. I'm like, dude, is that Scramble? It's like, yeah, I just bought in. Oh, fuck, dude. So I know one guy with it, plus the originator. That's a pretty small gene pool so far. So that's one thing I wouldn't mind actually getting.
You got Antoine's too, that cantaloupe gene that he has, and
The cantaloupe.
yeah, the cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
They say up there in Montreal, the cantaloupe.
I saw that Tinley. That's a nice gene. Does Jaguar have a?
There was another one too, though. What was the other one?
But
Yeah,
I
like-
watched that video, and from the single gene cantaloupe to the yellow belly cantaloupe,
Berm.
it's completely insane.
It's insane.
So
Yeah.
Brian from MBK Reptiles in Mirdo, he's one of our big exporters up here. That's his gene.
Yeah,
And he invited us up to Montreal 7-8 years ago, and he showed us, check out this fucking Enchi cantaloupe, boys. And I'm like, what the looks like an Enchi to me, man. I just wasn't seeing it yet. And 2-3 years later, I came back and he showed me another one. Okay, I'm starting to see it. And then this year they busted the project out, and you can definitely see it. I mean, they got it into the right combo where it popped. And it's pretty cool. And I hear all Americans and people talking about it, so I think it's going to take off for him.
I think it will be too. Yeah, Tinley
Yeah.
and stuff. Because he's up there in Tinley and whatnot, and it was nice in person.
the burn is nicer.
Yeah, the Burns
Burn.
too.
I'd agree on that one.
Yeah,
I'd agree. Berm is nicer in my opinion.
he had those videos. Oh man, it was in the summer. I think he posted those 2 videos explaining.
Because the cantaloupe's more like color, changes the color. The berm actually changes the pattern.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get those high flames and stuff on it from the berm and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool. It's dope.
Yep. Definitely.
I'm trying to think what else is new that's out there too. I mean, they're just plus you got everyone's secret dinker projects.
Yeah.
I can't say that I have any that I bought that were worthwhile, but you know.
You have
Oh, come on.
Nothing. What?
You got one that turns heads.
God, no. We're not talking about that, Paul. We're not talking about that crap.
Fucking Gunsmoke gene
Gunsmoke.
coming out soon to
Fucking
Gunsmoke.
a rack note near you.
It's like a goddamn freaking Enchi Blaze, what it looks like. You want that guy in person? I'm like, what the fuck?
And who told you not to buy that?
Fuck off, car.
I should listen.
I should have. Hey, I spent money on worse things.
True.
It's true.
I definitely had investments not pay off for me. I bought into bamboo when it was expensive. 7 years later, the girl finally produced for me this year.
Oh,
Dropped the bottom of
pay
that
for the
project at
original
this
one?
point. What's that?
Man.
How much did you pay for that bamboo?
Like 2,800 or something.
Oh, that's
Well, it wasn't that bad, but it was enough. I was back when
Yeah, considering you get
2,800
them
was
a lot
something
cheaper
back then.
now.
Do you have
You're,
Do you have Redhead and Puzzle yet?
No, not yet. With the puzzle, so when I bought my puzzle mail, that took me years to find, and it was all so unique and stuff like that. Miguel messes me up. And, hey, bro, you mind if I do a video on your puzzle? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, dude. And then there's some dude from Europe messing me up. Hey, man, you mind if I do a video? And then Justin messes me up. Hey, that's a nice puzzle, bro. And Sean Bradley messaged me up. Hey, dude, you know that's my gene. That's the coolest one I ever saw. And by 4 or 5 messages and people show, I'm like, dude, I should capitalize on this, man. So I planned on buying a bunch of adult females from Corey. He was getting rid of adult hets that I could breed to it. And I'm like, you know what? This is so original. If I breed to that, it's just going to be a regular puzzle. I need to make my own hets, line breed it back, and see if this is something. So that's what I did. My first 2-3 years, I just spent making hets. I haven't even made a visual yet, but all my hets are from that zigzag lineage. So when I bust out zigzag puzzles in a few years, and I've spent the time, the proper time getting there and understanding the gene, then it'll pay off for me. But I'm taking the long route there on puzzle.
No.
Sometimes you have to,
I like that. That's fucking cool.
for sure.
Yeah, and the name Zigzag, if it sticks, I just love that name. I'm a pot smoker to begin with. And then there've been a couple combos out there over the years they called Zigzag that was lackluster. So
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Congrats, John. Got my first lock. Hell yeah.
Heck
Puzzle
yeah.
Logger Redhead.
Nice.
Congrats, man. Hell yeah. For sure. Yeah, I know Carr's not a big fan of puzzle. He's a loser.
No. Whatever.
No, Will. I got dibs on Zigzag. You can go screw
Zigzag.
yourself,
Nope.
Will.
Sorry, Will.
Sorry, Will. You're not happening.
there's a lineup of people waiting on Zigzag, and I got just as many haters, man. I got dudes who have been in puzzle way longer than me, talking behind my back. What the fuck's this guy doing, calling this shit Zigzag and talking shit? But I don't really care, man. When I got the electrics years ago, they all thought I was an idiot and I didn't know what I was talking about. It proved out to be a het tri-stripe. And it's happened several times over the years where a big dude has tried to tell me I don't know what I'm doing, and I just stick with it, and it pays off in the end. So the bigger guys in the project will eventually start using that name Zigzag, just like I use it, and it'll be worth it in the end. So
Right? That's just like, the story of Kabelka with the yellow bellied pied back in the day. No one believed that it was a yellow bellied pied and stuff. And, he stuck to his guns when he first started because he was a nobody at that time. And, it ended up being a yellow bellied pied. He was right. And, look at him now. Who's laughing at him now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for sure.
Hmm.
You got anything else you want to say, Carr?
Not really.
No.
Man of many
Electric
words.
is like Ken's extreme gene. Electric like Ken's extreme gene. Then he did post Ken Mack. He posted a crazy snake the other day on his Instagram. I don't remember exactly what it was, dude. It was insane.
So I
That's
messaged
it.
Ken up. I messaged Ken up years ago, and when I got my electrics, I'm pretty astute at this shit. Like I spent a lot of time studying a snake. Like, you wouldn't even believe it, right? So I had all theories about this electric. I'm like, hey, I think this electric's tri. I think that there's 2 phenotypes of tri-stripe. I think Ken Masick has tri-stripe. I don't think he knows what the fuck he's doing with it, and he's calling it extreme. And he's getting this weird snakes. He doesn't know what they are, so he's calling them the extremist. He's got so many names involved. They're het tri-stripe. That's what they are. I tried to tell him that 7 8 years ago. Dude, that's a het tri-stripe. Your electric is the same gene we have up here that we call. My electric is the same as your extreme. And he just wasn't buying it at the time. 3-4 years later, he puts out a video look, my extreme is tri-stripe. Oh, fuck, dude. We could have been so much further if we listened to that 7 or 8 years ago.
I
I don't
talked
have
to
any-
somebody. He's saying the same thing. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I noticed it within other collections too. A lot of collections have two different phenotypes of the het tri-stripe. You got a het tri-stripe that doesn't look like a het tri-stripe. It looks like a DG almost. And you get another one with the elongated alien head eyes and whatnot, and it looks like it wants to be a tri-stripe. So we've been calling these electric and these het tri-stripe. They're both het tri-stripe. They're just two different phenotypes. They look totally different from one another.
Right.
The electric acts as its own gene. You can make a super version of it. You can't do that with the super version of this. It's just a tri-stripe. The super version of the electric is super electric tri-stripe. So Ken's got that going on too. It's just messed up with the whole extreme, extremist, super extremist stuff. So, but you're right. It's
Oh,
very
he cut
similar
off.
to
Oh,
those
no.
two genes. I think they'll probably
The
be
same
proof
problem.
compatible.
Oh, we lost every.
Hello.
Dang.
Yeah.
Freaking operator error.
You froze,
I think
huh?
That might be on my end. That might be my internet freaking going in.
Oh. Now you're going in and out.
My connection's unstable. Went unstable all of a sudden. I don't know why. That's
Little
rough.
tiny town connection.
Yep. There you go.
Oh,
Yep.
there we
there
go.
it
We're
goes.
going in and out.
But
Dang, that's rough. That's a first.
You guys got any plans on coming up to the Canadian CRBE Expo at all? Or?
I'm trying to just hit some US ones this year. I haven't made it to actually any expos, so I plan on hitting Tinley. I plan on hitting Arlington. And then I might try to go for one more, maybe do like a Florida one or something.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to end up going to one. I mean, I can't get that much time off, so I think October I'm going to end up going to Tinley.
Tinley's worth it. Tinley's fun.
That'll be my first, and
Yeah.
then we'll start talking about getting out of the country.
Yeah, I hear you.
FX, I haven't seen you here before, man. Tinley's in October.
So what would be the Canadian one to go to? If you had to hit one Canadian expo, what's the one you'd want to go to?
We've got 2 or 3 of them across Canada. They're all
Right.
small, but the Toronto Reptile Expo puts on the CRB. It's the Canadian Reptile Expo, and
Okay.
that's pretty good. Every year we get Dave Kaufman up here. We get the Python Hunters, Graziani and those guys. Barchuk used to come up. Crutchfield. Everybody down there would come up here and show love during that one expo. And then there was a couple of slow years in the industry, and then the guy who puts on that expo bought the Animal Expo and a Fish Expo, and he's combined them all together under one roof. So now instead of 10,000,
wow.
we got like 30, 40,000 people coming through.
That's pretty
And
cool.
so it's getting bigger and bigger. And like I say, Cusco, all those guys, they all come up. Miguel's been up. I got a picture of our table one year with every American influencer at our table at the same time, taking pics and stuff. It was pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Huh.
Yeah, the guys who are really in it down there, they know what's going on. The CRB is the one show a year where you take a flight up here and check it out, man. We got our best shit there. And other than
Nice.
that, you don't want to fly up here for an expo. It's what you would consider a Repticon or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out, maybe.
Yeah, CRB. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's in September every year in Toronto. We fill out
Okay.
every restaurant and hotel around, and we party like animals for 2 or 3 days. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Sounds like up my alley a little bit.
Right? Sounds like a good time.
Sounds like a good time. So, do you think it's bigger than Tinley?
I haven't been to Tinley. I would definitely probably say no, though.
Yeah,
Tinley's
no.
like world renowned CRB. You got to tell people what it is still. So
True.
Yeah.
Do you plan on going to Tinley at any point?
eventually, yeah, I got grew copious amounts of marijuana for a good part of my life, and I got charges. So it's legal up here, so we're a little easier on it. But there's still places down there I believe it's illegal. So I don't know about crossing the border just yet. I got to look into it.
Mm.
Right.
Well, Tinley's in Chicago, so you're good to go over there.
It's unfortunate
Yeah,
because
but
half
not
this
crossing
hobby
the
is
border.
built on old weed
That's the
dealers. You
problem.
know what I mean?
Yeah, not crossing the border. Go buy it in Michigan. Yeah.
Don't cross the border.
Don't bring him back with you.
No.
My friend came from Toronto with mushrooms, and I remember he got snabbed at the border, and he was in a Buffalo jail. It was the worst thing that ever happened to him.
shit, yeah.
And then they deported him back to Canada. He's not allowed back in the United States.
It can't be
Bro,
worse
so
than
get you for
Brittany.
smuggling.
Can't be
Okay.
any worse than Brittany being in Russia. It was just trade an arms dealer for Brittany, but we won't get into that.
Mm.
It's just crazy. Oh man. All right, well, you guys, I got an hour and 35 minutes into this. I said I usually do the podcast about that long. So I'd like to thank you, Michael, for being on the podcast, chatting up with us. Paul, thank you for your first podcast with us.
No problem.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
Nice meeting you, Mike.
Man.
You as well,
Nice
Paul. It's
meeting
nice
you,
chatting with
Mike.
all you guys.
Hey, you
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mike.
guys' intro one more time for people that missed it. Don't forget, you guys, like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. We're doing that 500 subscriber giveaway. Peace out, guys. Stay safe.
Take
Have
care,
a good
guys.
new year. Achieve those goals. We'll be back at you eventually. See ya.